Today we're going to talk about evaluating expressions and replacement values. So sometimes when we have expressions with variables, like when we were talking about combined like terms, we're also told what those variables equal to the values they actually are. In these cases, your job is to replace each of the variables with their now known values and use your order of operations to simplify or evaluate those expressions. You can also use Desmos. So what is the value of this expression? I have 3 to the power of x minus 5y squared if x is 3 and y is negative 4. Whenever you substitute the values in, put them in parentheses. So I'm going to do 3 parentheses, and then instead of x, I'm going to write 3. Minus 5 parentheses, I'm going to put the y value in. I close my parentheses, and I'm going to square it. The parentheses are super important, especially if we're raising something to a power. So now I'm going to take Desmos. I can't remember if you can see that on my. Give me a sec. And I'm going to type it in. So I have 3 cubed minus 5 negative 4, which is just the minus sign, and I'm squaring it. And it tells me my answer down there, negative 53. So the nice thing about Desmos is that it will do all the work for you. The not nice thing about Desmos is if you make a mistake when you type something in, it will give you the answer for the mistake problem, but not the answer that you're looking for. And if you just use Desmos, we can't give you any partial credit because there's no work. For number 2, it says, what is the value of the expression? It gives us this lovely expression here, and it tells us each of our variables. So we have 4 parentheses instead of x. I know x is negative 2, and I'm going to square it. Minus 3 parentheses instead of x, I'm going to write negative 2 because I know they're the same thing. I have a new set of parentheses because y is a different variable. Put 3 there, and then I'm going to keep that minus the square root. Instead of p, I'm going to put 81. Because that's the only thing in the square root. You don't necessarily need the parentheses, but it's good practice to just always do it. And then again, I can just use Desmos. So when I type it in, I'm going to do 4, and my parentheses, negative 2 squared minus 3 negative 2 3 cubed minus square root of parentheses 81. And it tells me it's 169. And I'm not sure if you've noticed, but when I have something in the exponent, I'll show you real quick. So if I have 3 persist for an exponent and I get 4 up there, to get out of the exponent, I write arrow. And that will be for anything. So if you're in a square root and you want to get out of it, or the absolute value bars, write arrow, and it will make it more normal. Okay, for my next problem, I need to find the value. It's a very long fraction, 5 to the power of x minus the cube root of y all over 3z.